to hear how, from your experience, are the UWC students perceived by admissions officers?
Of course. So it takes a special kind of student to want to be involved in the UWC community. In many cases, if you're a boarding student, you may be pretty far from home. And if you're not a boarding student, you're committing to a life of a community that's going to be different than what you would be engaged with in public school. The students are also taking on, a set of academic opportunities that are very, very different within the IB that they might have experienced otherwise. So they're committing to a track where they're not, they're really focusing on a specific set of subjects. They have the theory of knowledge, of course, which is going to be, encapsulating a lot of what they're doing. But in addition, they're engaged in this community opportunity, whatever the school may be focusing on. Would it be the environment? Would it be community building? Would it be looking towards global peace, for example? And whatever it is that each individual school finds as their focus is really going to be expected of the student as well. I mentioned difficult conversations, being in school with people that are very, very different than you, having to express who you are as an individual and meet people that you might not understand at the beginning, or you think you have nothing in common with, and finding common ground. So from my perspective, UWC does an incredible job of educating young people, not only academically, but really in how to dive in and be fully present one-on-one and understand what it's like to be a contributing member of a society. So that I think is really important and pretty unusual, to find 14, 15, 16, 17-year-olds undergoing that kind of experience with adults won't occur, not necessarily occur until they're older, sort of in their 20s, and living with people maybe that they haven't encountered before. So I think that the UWC is particularly good at that. In addition, of course, to the rigor of the academic program, it's the mission of the school, and I know, for your school as well, to become stewards of the environment is such an incredible thing for these young people to be able to participate in and to understand it. And I have no doubt, with the recent climate discussions in Glasgow, that was probably something that was very much discussed in the classrooms and the hallways and the playing fields, because this is part of the mission of what, you guys are educating for the young people. So, and the last thing I'll say on the subject is that when I had the opportunity to interview students from UWC, I was inevitably blown out of the water. Articulate, thoughtful, self-aware, able to hold a conversation. And, interviews for undergraduate admissions, well, these days they're on Zoom, but in the old days, before times, they were one-on-one in person. And, they didn't know me, but to be able to express who they were, what really mattered to them, to ask me thoughtful questions, those were some of the best interview days I had. And I'm so grateful to have met those young people, because I feel like they are now becoming the leaders of the next generation, hands down, something that I felt really strongly about from the beginning.